I decided to write this article actually while on vacation in Europe. And as someone who's been traveling to Europe for almost a decade now, I've seen the changes that have been occurring within Europe. For a lot of Americans, they think of traveling to Europe and they finally get that chance to go and they want to see all the stereotypical sites. They want to go to Paris and see the Eiffel Tower. They want to go to London and experience British culture, go in the touristy areas and see what the city's about. And some of us venture outside the touristy areas. But what I've noticed over the past 9 years is that the culture within many of these cities and even outside the cities is shifting. The people who are there don't appreciate the culture that exists. They don't choose to preserve it in the same manner for many of these Western nations. But it's especially after the migrant crisis back in 2015, where a massive amount of people were coming from Northern Africa, different parts of the Middle East, into mainland Europe. And you see a shift. You see the demographic shift. Last time I was in London, there are parts of London which basically resemble Pakistan. There's no other way to kind of put it. It doesn't look like British culture. It doesn't look like a British land. And it goes beyond, skin tone and what someone's background is. It's how someone practices where they live. Are they upholding British culture? Are they upholding the culture of this new land that they're in? And more often, what we're seeing is the people who are coming from another nation only want to bring over the culture that they're familiar with just in a new place. And, the good thing about America and the immigrants that I've come across, and I say this as, the child of an immigrant, when people come to United States, they really want to be here. For the most part, they discard the old customs, things that would be seen as acceptable. They discard those to adapt to the American culture. And what I'm seeing is the people who are natives of, especially in the Western nations like Germany, they are constantly talking negatively about their culture. They don't appreciate it. Their history is only Hitler and World War II. The United Kingdom feels terrible about having an empire, and absolutely nothing good came from having an empire. And so they do everything possible to cut themselves at the knees. And so when people present new cultural standards, they basically accept it. They don't try to uphold anything. And so what I'm watching is Western nations, the big Western nations like England, like France, like Germany, they're shifting, they're changing. Belgium is shifting. When I was in Vienna, I was hard pressed finding the people who were actually Austrian. I stayed in a section of Vienna where it was predominantly Turkish and the signs were in Arabic. So it was very interesting to be in a European nation, in a European city, a major European city known for classical music, and to see that parts of that city is essentially an offshoot of Turkey, an offshoot of other foreign countries. So I don't know what's going to come from Europe, but I do know that there are winners, and the winners are the Visegrad. We traveled to Hungary and to Budapest. We traveled to Czech Republic. And while they may not be the richest nations in the world, they are rich in culture. They are appreciative of their history, even though their history is tumultuous. The Czechs are proud to overthrow communism. These are things that they don't shy away from. These are things that they take pride in. They take pride in their language, they take pride in their culture and their heritage. And these are things that are mostly lost throughout Western Europe. I'm hard pressed to find someone who lives in Western Europe who actually appreciates where they're from, who actually appreciates the historical context and the historical significance of their country. So, as an outsider, as an American who visits, who's never lived in Europe, I'm worried about their future. But if you're an American looking to travel abroad, don't be shocked if things look different. But if you're going to go as soon as possible, because I wouldn't be surprised if in another decade or so, those things that we really look forward to seeing are no longer there.